Good evening, Venkatesh sir, and to one and all. It's a real pleasure to connect with you all today and to have meaningful discussions. I would like to start my presentation with a question. Like, did you know that nearly 20% of the academic manuscripts they get rejected early simply because they are submitted in a wrong journal? So, like after facing several rejections and a lot of revisions, I have learned that picking the right journal isn't it just about getting published. It's really about giving work the best chance to be seen, understood, and appreciated by people who need it the most. So, the right journal serves the ultimate purpose of it, reaching the target audience. So, where to start before you start? The first step in the research would be, I would say, to find a journal before start writing a paper. So, where to start now? So, first build a short list of journals appropriate for your article, and then refine those lists, and then choose the right journal. So, I would say that at least you should keep 3 to 4 journals in hand to face the rejections peacefully. So I'll walk you through all these aspects step by step. First, do some desk research. Like you probably must be familiar with various journals in your field. So it's a great idea to take look at these first and then see whether they might be a good fit for you. Like a Journal of Glaucoma for glaucoma paper, or a cornea for a cornea paper, something like that. So in addition, like search for Google Scholar, see which journals have been published. They have published research on your subject area for past 1 to 2 years. Search call for papers in your subject area. That's also a good way of increasing your acceptance for submission, because call for papers are an invitation from a journal asking for submission of research papers or articles on specific themes or topics. So it will be mostly on the author services. Then the journal blogs, they're also of a good source of information. So this is particular, I want to mention, like in November 2022, that IJO had a special issue on manual small incision cataract surgery. So we had submitted this original article and a video during that period, because it increased the chance of being getting accepted. Like if you look at like the call for papers for a special issue. Also, the publishing websites, they also have this options to find the journal and search for call for papers and also journal suggesters. So this is this Google Scholar, where I had typed Down syndrome and keratoconus, my research topic. So I have found like a few articles which have been published in journals which had shown some interest towards that topic. So another great way of to identify right journal is that to speak to knowledgeable people around you, speak to your colleagues or mentors and your institution librarians. Depending on whom you speak, you can ask questions like which journals do they read regularly, and which ones do they believe are more respected? Have they had good experiences publishing with particular journals? Do they have ideas about which journals will suit your specific research field? So, and then narrow down your search. Explore journal suggester tools in several publishers' website, and tools allow you to narrow down your search. These tools, they use artificial intelligence to analyze your title or the abstract and compares with the published articles and pairs it with the most suitable journals, like keratoconus and in children with the Down syndrome. I have just typed this on the journal finder, the Springer Nature website. So and put in some keywords. So it has given me all these journals which uh, I can publish, and also shows some call for papers also in each journal. So you can go and just click on that and look into like what are their special interests, like for those special issues. So if it matches your paper, then it would be good. And the many publishing sites, they have journal finder options. So this Elsevier, it gives all the informations you need, like I had typed around about like Down syndrome and keratoconus, and it showed 40 journals that was matching my paper. So survey of ophthalmology, it gives you all the information like impact factor, site score, and time to first decision, time to acceptance, and acceptance rate, then open access or subscription journal. So everything you need. You have to just sit and just Google it. You will know everything. Like once you have shortlisted the journals, now the real work begins. Like it's time to go into some serious details and evaluate your shortlisted journals against some essential factors. Like get familiar with the journal's contents first. Review the past issues of the journals. Look for the aims and scope of the journal. This is very, very important. Find out whether your research is relevant to the journal's audiences. So they are more important because you should know what kind of people would like benefit from your research. For example, I had made this mistake. Like I was trying to submit my case series, which was unique to the Indian scenario in an international journal, like fisherman's keratopathy. So I was trying to submit an international journal. So obviously it got rejected several times. So ask yourself, do I want to publish my work in an international journal with high impact factor, or my research region specific? So this is JAMA ophthalmology. It gives a mission statement instead of aims and scopes. So check which article formats are accepted. The author's guidelines are very, very important. So it may, I would suggest like make notes of it, like in a separate notebook or in your, no, like notes in your iPhone or your Apple, so that so you if you like you can easily like have a you can see it like whenever you are going to submit the next time. So that gives the journal's preferred layout, the word limit, the reference style, and more and more things. So which are very specific to the particular journal. So next is understand the publishing options. Like there are three types of journals: hybrid, gold, and subscription only. Hybrid journals, the author chooses whether the article is published subscription or open. Subscription means closed access, that is, authors they do not pay for anything, but the article will be available to journal subscribers only, and only the abstract will be available online. So open for hybrid journals, it is both a subscription and open. Open is the authors have to pay the publication fees and it will be free online, and anyone can download and cite it. So most of the journals are hybrid. And gold access is only they are all the articles will be published open. There is no choice, and the authors have to pay to publish, and it is free to read for the audiences. Subscription only journals are more rare today. So, for example, this is an contact lens and eye journal, which is both open access and subscription. Indian Journal of Ophthalmology, it is open access. It allows free access to its contents and permits authors to self-archive final accepted version of the articles on any OAI compliant institutional or subject-based repository. So, publishing your article in an open access it means that more people are likely to see it simply because more people will be able to access it. The downloads of open access papers, they are 80 to 89% they are higher, and PDF downloads are 42%, and unique visitors were 23% higher than those for a subscription access articles. Next, the next aspect the authors considers for choosing a right journal is the speed of decision making. 65 to 70% they consider that the speed from acceptance to publication is very important, and 80 to 85% believe that the speed from submission to first decision plays a very important role. And the open access journals, they have a very short time like from acceptance to publication compared to that of the traditional journals. So journal metrics. So these are another important factor to consider in your decision making. These metrics, they help researchers to decide where to submit their work and give insight into a journal's reach and prestige. So impact factor. So this is one of the most widely known journal metrics, measuring how often a journal's articles are cited in other works, like within a given year. calculated by dividing total number of times its articles were cited during the 2 previous years divided by total number of citable articles in the journal during those 2 years. So higher impact factor means it is highly influential journal. So let's look at the other journal metrics, then come back to the impact factor. Chimago journal ranking, it is based on the Scopus data. It is calculated by dividing average of weighted citations received in a year divided by the documents published in previous 3 years. So it considers sources of citations rather than counting all the citations equally. So this is very important statement. It considers only the sources of citations. So and citation from rather than counting all citations means like from newspapers or from other journal blogs that also like can get cited. So that is not the purpose of it. So citation from a journal with a higher SJR is more worth than a citation from a journal with a lower SJR. So this is a Chimago journal ranking site. So it gives, this is the 51st page. So it gives all the rankings of all the journals. So an Indian journal is 0.635 SJR score. SCI is another journal metric. It's created by Institute of Scientific Information, and the articles in SCI journals, they are more likely to be cited and increasing their research impact and influence. And journals indexed in SCI, typically they have a high impact factor. This is a Journal of Ophthalmology published by American Academy of Ophthalmology. Currently, it has an impact factor of 6.35 as of 2023, and it holds high SJR value of 4.642, indicating its significant influence within the field of ophthalmology. And with a high index of 285, it demonstrates strong citation impact. So what is H index? H index is based on the scientists' most cited papers and number of citations they have received in other publications. So it combines both productivity and citation impact of a researcher. It is indexed in both Google Scholar and Scopus. So Scopus H index is more reliable than the Google H index, as I mentioned previously, because Google takes in all everything like newspapers and everything. So this you would have noticed when you just type it in your Google Scholar website. So how much you rely on journal metrics when choosing a journal, whether it is audience or the impact factor? I would strongly suggest audience. So after all my experiences, like when your research is being read by a right audience, your article gets cited more often. So it increases the chances of your paper being evaluated by appropriate reviewers also. So then what is the true value of the impact factor? So let me explain this with an example of Einstein's paper. So Einstein's landmark paper was published 100 years back, and he published it in 1905, but it did not receive a large number of citations initially, like for 2 years or so. So if you consider like impact factor, but impact factor was not there those days, like it came after 1945. If you need to consider an impact factor for first 2 years of after his publication, it would have definitely be low, because it calculates a short, like only for 2 years citation. So Einstein's paper did not gain citations in 2 years of publication. Why? Because though his concepts those days were very advanced and only very small scientific community could understand that. So citations came very slowly, and they tried to understand and appreciate that work. And now it has reached around 1,000. So the true value of impact factor, like if the researchers are low in some core subjects, then impact factor also will be low. So don't just depend on the impact factor. So you look at the journals which attract the right target audience rather than this impact factor. So very important thing is identifying predatory publishers also in choosing, whenever you're choosing a journal. So identifying that they don't have any quality and they publish just for money. So these websites will have some unprofessional, they will be unprofessional, and they have unclear editorial board, and they will not have any standard ISSN or DOIs. and they would mention a fast turnaround time from submission to publication, and they will not have a peer review process itself, and they are unclear about the journal metrics, and only few published papers will be there. Few examples are omics publishing groups and other like international journal scientific research, ophthalmology research, international journal of ophthalmology and clinical research. So they all mimic the names of reputable journals. So just think, check, and submit. This is a website which gives you the journals, like you can choose from that. So for an example, like to find out a predatory, how to find a predatory journal, like I received a mail few months back, like stating that Dr. Burton M. Altora is a editor-in-chief for the field, like Journal of Clinical Ophthalmology, and they have invited me to submit a mini review or a short commentary on the one of my recent publication. So, and it also had the like a long mail with the impact factor stating that their journal has an impact factor of 4 point something. I just Googled it. So it said that editor of this journal, particular journal of ophthalmology, was Eugene Ilya, and the Burton M. Altura is in the editorial board, and he's a professor of medicine, Sunny, like Downstate Medical Center. So I just Googled it out of interest. So, like, he is a professor of physiology and pharmacology in that, and he's also editorial board in the editorial board of another journal. So, further Googling it, I found that like this journal of clinical ophthalmology had a impact factor of 0.45, but the total citation count was 67. So, I thought still we can consider, but the citation report was of from the Google Scholar, so which is of no value at all. So spend some time Googling. So you can like choose a good journal. So, so like do this work like before starting to write a paper. Like, you can just have in mind your research question first, and then start searching the journals. Have 3 to 4 journals in your list, and then start writing your paper. So coming to the end of the presentation, when it's like remember, like you have to look back beyond like numbers. It should reach journal audiences also. Also consider the journal aims and scopes and your research goals. So what next? Just write and then publish. I would like to thank Dr. Venkatesh sir, Kavita ma'am, Christy and Annamalai for having me here. Thank you so much.